Everyone, welcome back to day 13 of Reprogram Yourself. Can you believe that we're already 13 days in? I'm still so excited for what's to come, and I'm so excited for what we've talked about already. So today we're going to talk about something that I know that you are familiar with. I know that you've heard before, and this is actually one of the most basic, really one of the beginner techniques in NLP, and it is called imagery training, or sometimes it's referred to as mental rehearsal. Now, I know this is talked a lot about in the law of assumption community. Neville Goddard really focuses on this a lot. And this is something that is really impactful, and it can be approached from a couple of different ways. So today we're going to talk really specifically about imagery training and mental rehearsal. And then in the upcoming days, we'll reflect on some other versions of it so you can see how they're different, so we can really zoom in on each of these different practices. So when we're talking about imagery training itself, we're typically talking about you rehearsing something mentally of you doing something and seeing yourself doing it successfully. So what we're really doing is we're zooming in on one event. So say that you want to get a bonus in your job. You're zooming in and you're seeing yourself having that money in your bank account. You're seeing it happen. Like, you're seeing it occur, your desired outcome and your desired results. So if maybe you're seeing a client DM you to work with you and you're seeing them pay in full and you're seeing the notification come through, or you have been wanting to get into an art show and you see the person offering you, or one step better, you see yourself talking about your art to people that love your art. You're seeing yourself really accomplishing the thing. So if you want to win a race, you're seeing yourself cross the finish line. If you want to win a championship, you're seeing yourself make the last basket, whatever it is. But it's really about you getting really, really focused on the desired outcome that you want to experience and seeing yourself completing it, seeing it happen successfully. Now, this is really beautiful and really great for these moments that are more higher stakes, when we've got more on the line. So if it's a promotion, if it's a lot of money, if it's something that we're trying to accomplish, that would be setting a goal or accomplishing something or winning a race, something like that, where it's got more weight on it, quote unquote. This is amazing for that, because it's really easy for us to feel nervous or get worried or expect that it's not going to happen or feel anxiety or stress when you're not really preparing yourself for the outcome that you want. You're kind of like available for it not working out, right? Because you're stressing out about it, you're worrying about it. But if you can actually start mentally rehearsing it beforehand, deciding that it is going to happen, really zooming in on the moment of it happening, seeing yourself and really focusing on the image of yourself, seeing yourself very clearly on how you're carrying yourself, seeing yourself confident, seeing yourself successful, seeing how you really would be looking and reacting in that situation as your most successful and your most confident self. This actually prepares you energetically and mentally for it actually happening, because you are seeing it over and over again, rehearsing it over and over again. So you're actually now available for the reality where it does work out, because you've already seen it happen. And because you have already seen yourself as the version of yourself that is that confident, that is successful, you know that that version of yourself is available. And the more you start rehearsing and seeing that version of yourself, the more you're actually going to be tapping into that version of yourself right now. And you're really starting to embody this energy of expectation that it is going to work out, that it's going to go the way that you plan, that it's going to be exactly perfect. So let me give you an example from my life. And this is one of the best manifestations, because I imagined it so like to a T that even to this day, I'm like shook by it. Because I think it helps sometimes for us to hear examples from other people's lives. People learn through stories. So when my mom got married, it was her third marriage. She's married to my stepfather now, and we all love him, but we all just kind of stopped taking her wedding seriously. The second one was an absolute disaster. We don't have time for that story today, but I'm telling you this because it makes sense in the story. So I was her maid of honor, and I had just come home with my dog, Ghost. We had been traveling, so I really had just been back for like a month or two, I want to say, before the wedding, to make sure that I was there, So I find out, and of course I have to like give a speech, but I'm just not taking it that seriously, because it's like, it's just my mom's wedding. Now, a lot of people would take having to say a speech in front of a lot of people, like that would be a lot for them. But because I've literally been giving speeches since I was like 5 years old, I was on stage my whole life. Like I have an entertainer personality. Like I'm good with speaking in front of people. I can speak in front of like anyone. So I wasn't worried about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to like pick up the mic and say whatever I want to say and it's going to go great. And my dog and I couldn't get into our hotel room and it was rainy that day. So I was just sitting in my car with her waiting for them to clean out the room for the dog because she's a big dog and she could only go in some rooms. My sister and her then boyfriend, now husband, pull up and I go out and I talk to my sister and she's like, you don't have your speech prepared? When I was the maid of honor in her best friend's wedding, she was like, I prepared for that for months. And she kind of like got in my head and I was like, oh my God, like, should I have written out this speech? Should I have done this? So I started getting nervous. And while I was sitting in the car, she was like, you should probably like write this out. So I started to write out a speech like on the notes app in my phone. And then I realized that I was getting so serious about this and starting to worry about it. And I was like, no, what? Like, I'm good. I know Jim. Jim is a great guy. I'm just going to talk about him and it'll be easy. It'll be fine. So I like wrote out a rough draft and it was super short and simple. Cause like, let's be honest, people don't want to hear long speeches at weddings anyway. Like people just want it to be over so they can keep drinking and talking, right? Like, and get into the cake. So I wrote out this super short and super simple speech. And then instead of needing to like rehearse the speech and practice the speech over and over again and drive myself crazy while I'm doing it, because I also have to do my hair and my makeup and get me and my dog into the room, get her comfortable, like all of the things. So I was like, I just like don't have the time and I'm not trying to kill my vibe. Like, bitch, don't kill my vibe. I wasn't doing it. So instead, I knew what dress I was going to be wearing. I knew how my hair was going to be done. I knew how my makeup was going to be done because I was the one who was doing it. And so I saw myself in the dress, in this green dress that like matched this tattoo. I saw myself in the green dress with my hair to the side, with my makeup done. And I saw myself not even giving the speech, but like at the end of the speech after I gave it, I saw people coming up to me saying, oh my God, Alexa, that was the best speech. I didn't walk anywhere. Anytime I went to go anywhere, somebody stopped me and they were like, Alexa, that was the best speech I've ever heard. Even if it was somebody I didn't know. I knew most of the people at the wedding, but you know what I mean. I just visualized that. Really potently saw me in my green dress with my hair done, with the jewelry on. Like I saw me in that future moment, me having done the speech and me getting all of these compliments and everyone telling me it was amazing. I didn't sit there and focus on memorizing the speech. I didn't like sit there seeing me even giving the speech. I saw me after the fact getting stopped left and right saying, oh my God, that was the best speech I've ever heard. I am not even joking you. I had to have gotten stopped 70 times that night. That was the best speech I think has ever been done at a wedding. It was so good. The energy was there, like, especially because the guy before me, love him, but he was like, oh, and he was reading in the cards. And I just like, I'm an entertainer. I thrive in those situations. But do you see how I could have gotten really tripped up, getting caught up in my sister's energy? She meant well. Like she genuinely did mean well. She just lives in the Matrix. Love her to death. But like, we're space cadets over here. We're not in the Matrix. So I just do things differently. And do you see how instead of like tripping myself out, stressing myself out about having to do this and that, and now having to nail this speech, I just decided that that speech was going to be the best speech ever. If I went off topic, it would be perfect anyway. That speech was going to be amazing. And I allowed myself to chill out. I took a mad long time. I literally remember laying on the bed, listening to music, chilling out with Ghost, not even getting ready for mad long. Then getting ready, doing my hair. Like I didn't even open up my phone again. I just went down. I had some champagne. I did the speech and then I was stopped all night and told how amazing that speech was. This is how you can really start becoming a master creator of your reality. Because there are people that would have taken that situation like they would have spent a month or two driving themselves crazy about this speech, making it perfect, writing it down, stressing out about it, taking up all of this energy and this mental space about it when it was like not even a thing that I talked about. They said, my mom was like, hey, you're going to have to give a speech, and I was like, yeah, figured. And then I talked to my sister about it the day of, like 3 hours before the wedding. And bada bing, bada boom, took up no mental space, wasn't a big deal, was an excellent speech. Mic drop moment, everybody knew it, everybody told me, and we were good to go. You know what I mean? Like, it was honestly one of the like most realistic imageries, because it was just like, this is how I decided this is how it's going to go. And I walked myself through it in my mind, seeing the outcome. And that's exactly how it went. A lot of people really stress themselves out about things because they're thinking about it in the way that they've been programmed to think about it. Like their action and the way they're doing it and the hard work and the effort and the amount of time they spend on something is how they're going to get the result. But this is why I always tell you to work smarter and not harder in manifestation, because when you actually understand what your desired outcome is, and let's be honest, that's where a lot of people aren't even that clear. They're crystal clear on what they don't want, but they don't ever get really crystal clear on what they do want, right? And that's where a lot of people fall short, because even if we call it goal setting, if we call it manifestation, whether you're more spiritual, whether you're more practical, the way you're going to get to the desired outcome is to know what steps you need to take, but also being able to see yourself in that outcome, having it already been done, allows you to really energetically align with that version of yourself that's confident, that is successful. They're calm, right? Like they're not getting all stressed out. They know that things are going to work out for them. And the more clear that you become on what you actually want to experience, and the more you can see yourself as that version of yourself who has that desired outcome already, you actually then future orient yourself to embodying that energy, becoming that person, taking on that new self-image in your mind. So that way, in this present moment, even though you haven't done it yet, you know that you've already done it, and you've already excelled at it. On another timeline, you've already seen it happen. So it's just a matter of time, and time's an illusion, right? So you can truly start creating these images in your mind and seeing them. But I really recommend that you do this when it comes to things when there might be more of a stake, or you feel yourself getting stressed, or you feel your mind racing, because you can shift that. So today, what I want you to do is I want you to write down one desired outcome that you want to experience. And I don't want you to pick like the easy one. I want you to pick the one where you're kind of like, oh, this one kind of dysregulates my nervous system. This one feels kind of big to me. Like, I don't know. Do I want to go here? Do I want to go there? Pick that one. That's the one. The one that's a little intimidating. The one that you kind of feel like is out of your league, like you're stretching yourself. That's the one that I want you to pick. And while I, yes, could give you a visualization in this situation, and there will be some, don't you worry. Don't you worry. In this particular situation, because what I commonly see and what is collectively gathered from many coaches and people that do this work is that people do really struggle with coming up with their desired outcome. And one of the things that's so beautiful about NLP is when we're working one-to-one, you can really, as the practitioner, understand what the client is desiring. So what I want you to do is I want you, because we're not in a one-on-one session. We are in a group setting. We're in a digital setting. So what I want you to do is whatever way works best for you, whether it's typing out a Word document or whether it's on your phone on the Notes app or whether it's in your journal, I want you to write out or type out an event, an outcome that you truly do desire to experience. Not one that's super, super easy. The one that like kind of makes you have to reach a little bit, the one that's a little intimidating. I want you to pick that desired outcome. And I want you to put a timer on your phone for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is nothing in the span of time. 5 minutes is nothing. For 5 minutes, I want you to mentally rehearse that outcome already having happened. So in my situation, it was that I was stressed out about giving a speech, or I had to give a speech. I wasn't really stressed out until I had the conversation with my sister, but you know what I mean. So the desired outcome was giving a good speech. And so I didn't see myself giving the speech. I saw myself after the fact, immediately after I had already given the speech, and being congratulated for how great and amazing that speech was. So I want you to not only come up with the outcome, but I want you to focus on, okay, if that outcome happens, when that outcome happens, because it is happening, what would your life look like after that event already happened, after it already occurred? What is the energy that you would be in? What is the self-concept you'd be embodying? What are you wearing? What's your energy like? Who are you talking to? What situation are you in? Like, get so fucking crystal clear on not only the event, the outcome, but you as your most successful and confident self, truly seeing yourself playing this out, and super specifically, because your subconscious loves specificity. And a lot of the times, the way that you can really get to the best case scenario in the fastest way is when you can truly tap into your own imaginative capabilities. Your subconscious mind truly does know what you want, and it does know how to give you that imagery. And when you can get really fucking crystal clear on what it is and who you are, that's when you and your subconscious mind are going to be working in harmony. So that way you are changing the self-concept that's in your subconscious. You are changing your confidence level, which starts in your subconscious. You are changing the energy that you embody, the actions that you take, the behaviors that you have. This is all in your subconscious. So this is how, remember, we're doing this to manifest on autopilot. So when you can get in harmony with your desired outcome, with your desired self-concept, and see it in your subconscious mind, anchoring into it through visuals, through emotions, through sensory experiences, hearing, seeing, noticing what's around. Are you feeling anything? Like, when you can tap into those senses, that's when, remember, you're tricking your brain to think that it did already happen. So that way you're not worried about it not happening because you've already seen it happen. So it's just a matter of time until it does happen, right? So write down the desired outcome, and you're going to do this right now. As soon as this video ends, you are going to write down the desired outcome. You are going to get really fucking crystal clear on the version of you who has that outcome, seeing it play out as it's already happened. If you're somebody that says, Alexa, I'm not great at visualizing, I understand that. What I want you to do is then write out a lot of the details on the paper, the outcome, what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like, what you're going to look like, what you're going to feel like, what you're going to be wearing, where you're going to be. Focus on drawing out a visual, mapping it out, and then seeing it in your mind, because you have the moving pieces rather than trying to do it all mentally. Construct it. Use the words as a puzzle piece and build that together in your mind. There's always a way that you can do it. And if you're more feeling into it, you can feel into it more too. But try to tap into the visual as much as possible. Don't use the excuse that I'm not a visual person. There are ways that you can get better with visualization. So start becoming the person who can visualize. Put a timer on your phone, and I want you to spend 5 minutes really anchoring into the visualization of it, really anchoring into the emotions of it, really focusing on who you are in that reality where it's already happened for you, where you've already received the money, the success, the whatever it is, you've already received it. So really lock into who you are and then visualize it and rehearse that, so that way it's so fucking real to you. It is as if it already happened for you, because you've already seen it fully play out in your mind. And then throughout the next few days, we'll be talking about other ways to visualize, and I will be dropping some visualizations, but I really want you to work with your unconscious today to really be able to start forming these things. So when there's specific events that are happening in your life, you know how to navigate them as your most confident and successful self. All right, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Let me know how today goes for you.